Yeah, a very good morning, everyone. Myself, Dr. Zakir Hussain. I would like to present our novel work with the title A Novel Coconut Shell Based Solid Catalyst for Biodiesel Production. Right now, I am working as an assistant professor in Loyola Academy and a scientific advisor in ProSam Biosciences Private Limited, Hyderabad. Then coming to our graphical abstract, as you can notice from the graphical abstract, we have just collected the coconut shells and cleaned and dried, and they are ground in sizes according to our requirement. Then after the size reduction, we have just converted them into the powder according to our requirement through passing some meshes. Then after that, we have impregnated using some mineral acid so that its porosity can be increased as well as some of the impurities, volatile organic matters, whatever are there in this coconut shell powder can be removed using some suitable mineral acid. Then further, in order to increase the porosity and to keep the pores intact, we have just carbonized at various temperatures in the muffle furnace. Then after that, if we can observe this, these are the porous structure we can observe in the catalyst using certain characterization technique like BET surface area analysis. Then after that, we have sulfonated this material using some strong acid. Then finally, we are calling this as a catalyst. So this catalyst will have various functional groups like the projected structure of this catalyst will be looking like this using certain XRD methods or this FTIR method. We have evaluated that. And finally, this catalyst has been tested in a methyl esterification of oleic acid in order to get a biodiesel from this oleic acid using a methanol as one of the reactant. Then we have studied the catalyst parameters, skin synthesis parameters like impregnation time and impregnation ratio, carbonization time and temperature, sulfonation time and temperature. These are the catalyst preparation parameters. And then we have tested this catalyst in biodiesel production in a heterogeneous catalysis route. Then we have studied various kinetic reaction parameters. So first the reaction parameter will be catalyst loading at various loadings of the catalyst we have studied. Then molar ratio of reactants like a methanol to oleic acid molar ratio we have studied at various molar ratios. Then finally we have studied the influence of time and temperature on this synthesis of a biodiesel using this heterogeneous novel route. Then finally, we have studied some kinetic modeling parameters. So together we have considered the adsorption of the reactant parameters, desorption of products, then surface reaction. So all together it will be called as Langmuir, Hanshelwood, Hagen-Watson kinetic model we have used here in order to model our kinetics so that it can be easily simulated to a commercially viable process. Then finally we have simulated a continuous biodiesel production process using Aspen Plus. So introduction and coming to our problem statement here, what happens means esterification. We know that it's a reversible reaction. It is a reaction between 1 mole of free fatty acids, or we can call a fatty acid, then 1 mole of methanol or ethanol, whatever the alcohol we employed. Then finally 1 mole of ester, that is nothing but a biodiesel, and 1 mole of water will be yielded. So right now the reaction is taking place via homogeneous route, esterification route using certain strong acids like a sulfuric acid. So there are several drawbacks in this process such as elevated reaction conditions, longer reaction time, equipment corrosion, discharge of huge amounts of effluents, and non-recoverability of this catalyst is the major drawback in the homogeneous mode. Then traditionally various solid acid catalysts have also been tried like a novel or a, noble metal oxides, zeolites, inorganic oxides, protonated naphthalene, sulfated zirconia, and ion exchange reagents have been commercially they have employed and really good results. But they are also associated with one or more problems like high cost, low stability, and low density of effective active sites and deactivation, probably the deactivation. Moreover, they are usually hydrophilic in nature. So due to this one, the deactivation of the catalyst will be very much high at the esterification conditions, because esterification, one of the byproduct or a side product in this esterification process is the water. So water will deactivate this type of catalyst. So in detail, we have studied the natural catalyst via the natural route and the not much complicated route. We have synthesized a catalyst. It can be very good, which shows a very good activity in our biodiesel production. So we have carried out this research, and I would like to present in detail a comprehensive study involving all the aspects such as synthesis, kinetic modeling, simulation, which are not in the common in the literature. So this type of studies are not common in the literature, like all the parameters involved here. Synthesis, in which the parameters like impregnation, carbonization, sulfonation parameters are there in the catalyst synthesis. Then characterization are there like FTIR, XRD and BET analysis. Then the kinetic modeling and simulation. So all together, I will just present a comprehensive study here. So such a novel approach is highly appreciable in scaling this process from laboratory to industrial scale. This type of novel approaches are very much advantageous in scaling our process from the laboratory to directly the commercially viable production process. So objective of the study is in order to mitigate the drawbacks which are associated with the conventional catalyst and a highly active novel coconut shell based solid acid catalyst was synthesized for biodiesel production. So as defined earlier in the problem statement itself, there are various drawbacks associated with homogeneous catalyst or a conventional catalyst or a heterogeneous catalyst, whatever it may be. But our catalyst will have various, it will mitigate various drawbacks offered by the conventional heterogeneous catalysis as well as this homogeneous catalysis. So finally, we have modeled the kinetics using Langmuir-Hansel-Watson kinetic model, which is popularly known as LWHW model, in order to deduce the kinetic parameters. So deducing the kinetic parameters by considering all the parameters like adsorption, desorption, and surface reaction will have a very much advantageous in just designing the reactors. So finally, the obtained parameters has been used in the Aspen Plus, which is a version of 8.6, in order to simulate a continuous biodiesel production process. So this is about the objective and outlines. Then coming to the experimental procedure, as you can see from this figure. So this figure indicates the range and various variables which we have studied in catalyst preparation. So this first part will be the catalyst preparation. Then the second part of this figure will be figure 2 will be the experimental reaction parameters, esterification reaction parameters, and this third part will be the kinetic parameters, whatever we consider, whatever the equation we have deduced. So that equation I will just try to elaborate on this one. So if you can see this one, first the coconut shell powder, after converting size reduction of this coconut shell, that powder we will be using as a material in order to produce our catalyst or synthesize our catalyst. So to synthesize that one, there are certain transformation process we have to undertake. The first transformation process is using some mineral acid. We have to impregnate inside that catalyst so that inside that material so that some volatile organic compounds can be released from that one. And to do that one, we have to study the two parameters, main important parameters of the impregnation, like impregnation time. The range of this impregnation time is 1 to 20 hours. Then the impregnation ratio, the range of this parameter is 0.0 to 1.25. Without impregnation also we tried, and with the impregnation up to 1.25 the ratio. We have already studied this one. Then next one is after impregnating this one, we have to activate this material. So in order to do the activation procedure, we have applied a carbonization technique in a muffle furnace at various temperatures and time. The range of this time is 0.5 to 10.5 hours and the temperature range is 150 to 550 degrees centigrades. Then finally, this obtained material after activation has been just sulfonated using a sulfuric acid, a strong acid with a 10 ml of sulfuric acid, so that the reaction parameters, this process parameters here in the catalyst synthesis is temperature in the range of 80 to 140 degrees centigrades and time 12 to 19 hours. So these are all the reaction catalyst synthesis parameters or catalyst preparation variables. Then finally, after obtaining this catalyst, we have studied the esterification reaction of oleic acid with methanol. In this reaction, the main reaction parameters like catalyst loading, its time, reaction time, reactants molar ratio, then temperature we have studied in the ranges as follows. Then finally, the obtained parameters has been modeled using a suitable Langmuir-Hansel-Wood kinetic model. So in this one, we have deduced this final equation. Using this final equation, we have found out many parameters by assuming some initial values or by initial values of the kinetics, we assumed this one, and finally we just used this equation in order to model our total kinetics and obtain our kinetic parameters. Then coming to the results, the catalyst has been showed much activity in the esterification of oleic acid, no doubt in that one. So first, if you see the impregnation ratio, influence of impregnation ratio on the fractional conversion. So if you can see, the impregnation ratio is going to increase. So it is increasing by increasing the impregnation ratio. So after one impregnation ratio, it is suddenly dropping. This may be due to the reach of plateau for the fractional conversion. So obviously the pore structure inside that one will be spoiled due to the excess use of a mineral acid. So then the next one is the influence of carbonization temperature, impregnation time with respect to the fractional conversion. In this one, if you see the impregnation time after 10 hours, there's a decrease in the impregnation time, and before that the 5 hours of impregnation time is sufficient. Therefore our reaction is reaching a plateau here. So after the 5 hours of impregnation time, there is no much influence of the impregnation time up to the 10 hours, and after that the impregnation with increasing the impregnation time, this has been increased further. We can say this is also because it is reaching a plateau, because the destruction in the pore structure can be the reason for this one to decrease the conversion after the 10 hours of impregnation time. And then the next parameter is the carbonation temperature with respect to the fractional conversion. Here, if you can notice, after a carbonization temperature of 450 degrees centigrade and after a 400 degrees centigrade, slight increase in the conversion has been observed here, 400 to 450 degrees centigrade. After a 450 degrees centigrade, there is no there's a decrease in the conversion has been observed. This is also due to the destruction of the pore structures at high temperatures. Okay, then the carbonization time, influence of this carbonization time with respect to the fractional conversion here. So if you can notice this one, after 8 hours of the carbonation time, there is no much influence of this carbonation time and the fractional conversion. So therefore we can fix the carbonation time as 8 hours. Then finally the major parameter is the sulfonation parameters, which are temperature and time. So if you can notice this one, sulfonation temperature increasing up to the 120 degrees centigrade, the fractional conversion is increasing. Whereas after 120 degrees centigrade, there is a decrease in the conversion has been observed. Then the sulfonation time. So the influence of sulfonation time is there up to the 15 hours. After that, a decrease, a drastical decrease in the conversion has been observed. So sulfonation time and temperature is also very much important. Therefore, in order to load a more amount of sulfonic acid groups on our catalyst, so that it can be having a synergetic effect together with the OH and COOH bonds, which has been generated by the catalyst preparation parameters. Then coming to the characterization results. So these characterization results right now we have not obtained for this current novel catalyst, but earlier we have reported this type of catalyst in our previous publication in the industrial and engineering chemistry research, in which corn cob as a precursor we have taken. So that results I would like to present here. Therefore, the characterization results of this current catalyst will is pending here. So due to this one, I am presenting the earlier results of this one. So if you can notice this one, so XRD results are presented here. So this XRD results, the major peaks like the 2 theta angle at 15 to 35 degrees here, there is an indication of amorphous carbon. Presence of this is the indication of amorphous carbon, and the 2 theta angle of 40 to 50 here, this peak is the indication of graphitic line like plane in this one. So by just observing the results of this corn cob catalyst as well as comparing the results of a coconut shell catalyst, we can say these catalysts are somewhat reliable, and moreover the current novel catalyst, corn cob catalyst, has been shown a superiority compared to the corn cob catalyst, which we reported earlier in the publication. So these two peaks are very much important. Therefore, they indicates 15 to 35 degrees indicates the amorphous carbon structure, and the 40 to 50 degrees peak indicates that presence of a graphitic-like plane here. Then next one is the FTIR analysis. So FTIR analysis of various catalysts right from the precursor to the final catalyst we have presented here. Therefore, the peak with respect to the wavelength here we have presented. So the peak at this one 1215 here 1265 biggest peak at 1265 centimeter inverse is the indication of our presence of a COOH group, which is coming from the mineral acid groups which we have used in the impregnation during the impregnation of the catalyst. Then OH group, the presence of OH group is at 3330, okay, which is the indication of presence of a OH group, a slight, okay, a small peak here a biggest peak in the precursor material like a corn cob. So the presence of highest amount of OH group is indication. Then as soon as we have synthesized the final catalyst, there is a reduction in this peak. This indicates a very small amount of OH group is present here. That is very much beneficial in our esterification reaction. Why? Because they are producing the water as one of the byproduct in this one. Then they peak at that 1030 here, 1030 and 1068 here, and the peak at 1215. Okay, 1215. This peaks. Okay, here in this region, the peaks indicates that the presence of the sulfonic acid groups like SO3H group. So this is very much good characterization observed in the catalyst right now. So very much high amount of sulfonic acid groups are there that are very much that shows a very good results of this catalyst. Together this all these functional groups like SO3H group, OH group and COH group will produce a synergetic effect in the catalyst, so that our catalyst will be very much active in the esterification reaction. A steric effect it will produce. Then finally the BET analysis has been conducted. So as BET we have observed using this following isotherm, the adsorption desorption isotherm. We have modeled using the Brunet, Emmett and Teller method. So SBET is nearly 641.60 meters square per gram, which is a high surface area after sulfonating the catalyst. Before the sulfonation, we have observed a surface area nearly equal to 1500 meters square per gram. It's a very high surface area, and the pore volume is also 7.312 into 10 power minus 1 cc centimeter cube per gram. So it's a good pore area and the good surface area we have observed for the catalyst. Therefore, this type of catalyst is very much beneficial right now in the heterogeneous catalysis. Why? Because this largest portion of this pores are occupied by the mesoporous. So catalyst characterization indicates that largest portion of our catalyst surface area is occupied by the more mesoporous structure. So triglycerides and this oleic acid, they are little heavier compared to the various other reactants. So for the adsorption, the microporous structure is very much beneficial. But the catalytic reaction, the mesoporous structures are very much beneficial, especially when the reactants are that much high molecular reactants like oleic acid and this oil components or a triglyceride component. Then finally we have modeled this experimental results has been modeled using the kinetic parameters. In order to do this modeling, we have to perform the reactions under various parameters like a catalyst loading, temperature, time and reaction ratios influence. We have studied as the following way. Then the influence of time on the fractional conversion we have studied. Therefore, if you can notice here, so after 10 weight percentage of catalyst loading, there is no appreciable increase in the fractional conversion. So we can fix our optimum catalyst loading at 10 weight percentage. Why? Because we can have economical benefit when we operate our catalyst at low ratios, low weight percentages. So 10% weight percentage is more than sufficient for this type of catalyst. And the influence of time on the fractional conversion we can study from this figure. So from this figure we can notice that after 1:10 mole ratio of this oleic acid to methanol, after this ratio, okay, at a 1:10 ratio, at the time of nearly 2 hours, after this 2 hours time, there is no increase in the fractional conversion has been observed. Therefore, our reaction is reaching at a plateau. So we can say that more than 2 hours time is not at all beneficial for our catalyst. So only up to 2 hours reaction time is more than sufficient for the operation of a catalyst, for the operation of this reaction using this catalyst, so that it can yield a maximum conversion in a minimum period of time. So then next parameter is influence of fractional conversion with respect to the temperature. Here we can notice that the temperature of 338 degree Kelvin around the 65 degrees centigrade, which is the boiling point of methanol. Operating our reaction temperature is in nearly the boiling point of methanol, which is 65 degrees centigrade, is enough. Okay, increasing that one more than this temperature will add a burden on the reactions. Why? Because there will be a large amount of solvent will be in a loss. We can observe a huge amount of solvents in a loss. Therefore, the evaporation of methanol will be started at above 65 degrees centigrade. In order to suppress that one, we can carry out our reaction sufficiently or conveniently at 338.15 degree Kelvin. Then these parameters we have modeled using the following equation deduced from the Langmuir-Hansel-Wood kinetic model, considering all the parameters right from the adsorption parameters of the reactants to the desorption parameters of the products, and together considering the surface kinetics of the heterogeneous catalysis. Then the initial rates we have studied using this equation. We have plotted this initial rates with respect to M, the methanol to oleic acid molar ratio with respect to M by R naught, power raised to the power of half. Then we can obtain this one at various temperatures. Then thermodynamics of this reaction and the kinetics of this reaction can be studied by just evaluating our reaction parameter and the thermodynamic equilibrium constant and reaction rate constant at various temperatures. Inverse of various temperatures we can study, and therefore the delta H and this delta S of the reaction can be easily found out using this rate constants and adsorption constants. Then a statistical analysis using student t-square test we have performed, and therefore all our data, as you can notice in this one, is within the plus or minus 5% of 5% of error. So we can say that confidently that our data is statistically very much consistent. Then finally, after obtaining all these parameters in the slope and intercept form, we have incorporated into the Aspen Plus modeling version 8.6, in which the first thing is a mixture will be there in order to mix the recycled methanol with a fresh methanol. Then a mixer will be there in order to mix all the whatever the left out methanol and everything was there. Then finally the other two mixers are to mix the fresh oleic acid and the recycled oleic acid. After the conversion, we have recovered much of the oleic acid and it is recycled back. Then this is a mix oleic acid mixer, and after passing through this mixer, therefore our two reactants are directly fed to the reactor, which here we have modeled using the RCSTR reactor, which is nothing but a continuous stirred tank reactor modeling. Then using this continuous stirred tank reactor, after obtaining our parameter, we have incorporated all the reaction parameters in the slope and intercept modeling. Together, the surface area which we have obtained through the BET analysis, we have just incorporated into this reactor modeling. After obtaining a satisfactory conversion percentage, we just fed this all the product into the RAT-FRAC unit, into the distillation unit. A rigorous RAT-FRAC unit we have used here in order to model our distillation column. So after modeling this distillation column, whatever the fraction which we have obtained is just it is divided into two fractions. One is oleic acid, which is recycled from the bottom. Then the methanol and water is just recovered from the top product as a top product from the first distillation, and this methanol and water is recovered in further other distillation column, which is also modeled using the rigorous RAT-FRAC modeling system. Then finally the top product is obtained as a recycled methanol, or unconverted methanol is recycled back from the mixer one. Then the byproduct, which is the water, is just collected from the bottom of the distillation column 1. Then the bottom product of the distillation column 1 is sent to the further one another distillation column, in which we have recycled this oleic acid, unconverted oleic acid, and recycled back to the mixer 1. So therefore this shows a good consistency in the data obtained, as well as a good simulation results has been showed. So therefore we can say there is a commercial viability of this type of catalyst, and as well as this type of process is very much feasible. Okay, therefore it is economically beneficial and also it is commercially feasible process. Then coming to the conclusion, the optimal catalyst synthesis parameters can be found: impregnation ratio as 1 and impregnation time as 5 hours. Then carbonization temperature as 723 degree Kelvin and time as 8 hours. Then sulfonation temperature as 393 degree Kelvin and time as 15 hours. Then the optimum conditions for esterification are 1:10 molar ratio of oleic acid to methanol and 10 weight percentage catalyst loading and 338 Kelvin. And the kinetic modeling shows very high value of adsorption equilibrium constant of oleic acid than the other three coefficients. Therefore, our kinetics will proceed at a very high rate because the adsorption equilibrium parameters of this oleic acid is very much high. Therefore, the probability of this oleic acid reaching to the catalyst surface is very high. Then the calculated activation energy and the frequency factors were found to be in line with the various heterogeneous catalysis modeling, and also the forward and backward reaction kinetics we have studied and presented here. Then the simulation results showed that a 99.09 percentage of conversion is possible using the oleic acid, and it is very close to the experimental conversion value, which is indicated as 99 percentage. The current research revealed that a novel product, which is our catalyst, coconut shell derived catalyst from agricultural waste, which is a coconut shell using a novel synthesis route using impregnation, carbonization, sulfonation, is having a good commercial value and biodiesel production via heterogeneous catalysis route. Therefore, it can offer many advantages compared to the homogeneous catalyst. Then the scalability of the product and the process was very good. The process of biodiesel production can be scaled easily to meet the commercial demand of biodiesel in environmentally sustainable and commercially feasible way. So this is the overall comprehensive study of this novel catalyst. Okay, thank you for listening.